So now we have to study about the relationship between tourism and leisure and how our leisure time that is contributing to the development of tourism. In actual sense, leisure itself that is tourism. Now we have so much of time to spend and engage in various activities. When we have leisure, when we have pleasantness, when we have a condition of calm and quiet, we naturally think about travel somewhere. There are different abodes, there are different places where people find solace. As far as India was concerned, we had Aranya concept, Aranya or forest concept, and Aranyas that is identified, forest that was identified as the place of calmness and solace. So, in this way, leisure is very much connected with the travel and tourism. Leisure means time remaining after work. We are always engaged in series of work. For example, during this pandemic season, we are very busy with the preparation of the notes, attending the classes, online classes, everything, and we does not have much lesser time. But some of us have much lesser time because we are not at all engaging in the academic activities. So leisure is considered to be the time remaining after the work. And how leisure is connected with the tourism, that is the biggest industry and biggest and growing industry in the world. And along with the leisure, we have to study about the improvement in the means of the transport and communication system. Since the industrial revolution, sophisticated machines, sophisticated techniques, then again transport system that were emerging in various parts of the world. The heralding of the aeroplanes or air transport, the invention of the railway. Now there is no connectivity problem. People are very easily connected to various parts of the world. So along with the leisure time, the development of transport and the communication system also contributed to tourism, and some people are engaged in cultural activities as part of the leisure. So tourism is concerned with the leisure, cultural activities or something. Non-leisure purposes such as business. Now the non-leisure purposes such as business also included in tourism. Actually, business travel or attending a meeting, that is not a part of tourism. It is a non-leisure activity because that is a part of the official work and that is a non-leisure activity. But now business is also the part of tourism. Leisure is associated with the festivals. For all time, the celebration of the birth of a children, harvesting of food, all that is a part of leisure. For a while you are celebrating your birthday, now in every campus there is a habit of celebrating ourselves, at the same time our friends and relatives. So while we are engaging in these activities, birthday celebration, harvesting of foods, all that is part of leisure, that is considered as part of leisure. And leisure was seen as the symbol of wealth because only a rich person who have much lesser time, because for meeting the two ends need, we are working always. You see the laborers who are engaged in the road construction, construction activities in factories. They are spending their day and night for meeting the two ends need. But there are some people who are very rich. That is why they have much lesser time. They are already rich and they are highly affluent group. So that is why they have much lesser time to spend or engage in cultural activities, travel or something. That is why leisure was part of wealth, or that was seen as the symbol of wealth. And some people who engaged in sports items like that is boxing, wrestling, archery, art, music, all that is part of leisure. For example, after completing your work in your office or somewhere, in the evening, some people are engaged in sports activities, warming up activities. So that is also part of leisure. Boxing, wrestling, badminton games, all that is, though they are working, they are engaging, but that is considered as a sports item, is considered as leisure. And in the ancient Egyptians, they developed leisure gardens for spending the time. And coming down to Romans, Rome that have two great cities, Athens and Sparta, and this Athens and Sparta developed their own concept on leisure. And Romans were the first people who distinguished between leisure and work. What is work and what is leisure? That was first identified the Romans. You see, there is a proverb that all the road that led to Rome, എല്ലാ റോഡുകളും റോമിലേക്ക്, that indicate the massive construction activities in the form of Rome, in the form of the road, and then again Colosseum, debating houses, cinema halls, all that is part of the leisure activities of the Romans. That is why Romans were the people first to distinguish between leisure and work. And wrestling, then again boxing and other sports items, that was an important part of the Roman life. And Romans balanced between work and play. They developed public facilities for enjoyment, parking centers, cinema halls, Colosseum, debating halls, and in this way the public places and public facilities were developed by Romans as part of leisure. Public bath or spa system, public bath and spa system, that was developed by the Romans. As we already pointed out, the extensive network of roads that was developed by them, inns, caravans, then again home, then again resting houses, all that was developed by Romans. So the leisure tourism, that have its origin with some of the practices developed by Romans. You see the picture of the great Colosseum, now that is well maintained and preserved. And while coming down to Middle Ages, you see in the historical textbooks, you see Middle Age, that was referred as Dark Age. That was a period of Catholic religion, that was a period of feudalism. So the leisure activities, entertainment activities, humanitarian activities, that was not at all promoted, not so much promoted during the Middle Ages. So the tourism and travel, though there are some universities, Colorado and some of the universities that were sprang up, and some sort of movement of the people from one place to another, but Middle Age was not a flourishing age as far as travel and tourism is concerned. But between the 14th to 16th century, we see a stagnation in the field of tourism. But by 17th century, with the end of the Renaissance, a new concept that was developed, that is of grand tour. What actually means grand tour? Grand tour that precipitated tourism. Grand tour means the people of Europe developed a habit of visiting Greco-Roman countries. You know the Greco-Roman civilization, Greco-Roman culture that always became a model to the European countries. The Europeans not like the medieval age. They were not at all interesting, or that not at all fascinating in the medieval age, but they always loved their ancient age. The Europeans always loved their ancient age. Their ancient age was represented by the Greco-Roman culture. So in the 17th century, the people, especially the young generation, who had their education in the famous universities of Europe, this young generation or young people had the habit of visiting the places, especially Greek and Roman centers, and they traveled. They traveled to their old destination. They traveled to the old destination, and the travel of Europeans to Greco-Roman areas, that is known as Grand Tour. Grand Tour. So the idea of Grand Tour that provide much contribution to the travel and tourism in the 17th century, and as part of this new centers, new tourism centers, Leamington, Buxton, spa centers that were developed as part of the Grand Tour. By the 17th century, some of the tourism centers, Leamington and Buxton spa centers that were developed, and you have a knowledge on how far the Industrial Revolution contributed to leisure tourism. The Industrial Revolution, along with the Industrial Revolution, there was the development of transport system, the introduction of the sophisticated machines in place of the handiwork or manual work. Manual work was replaced by the machine. So the introduction of the machine helped the people to save the time and health. So that is why people now have much time, because machines that speeded up the process of construction or manufacturing. Now people have much time or lesser time to spend. So in this way, as part of the Industrial Revolution, some of the prominent industrial centers of the world that were developed, Blackpool, then again Southend, Brinton, all became the great tourism centers that emerged in the world as part of the Industrial Revolution. Railway that made the transport very easy, steam engine that was connected with the ship and railway, and now the connectivity is more facilitated as part of the Industrial Revolution. And while coming down to the modern period, now we are traveling various part of the world, various part of our country, various part of our state, because we have so much of lesser time. As far as the students are concerned, we have the habit of every year in the month of September, October, November, we grouped together and we developed a planning to visit various parts, Mysore, then again Ooty, then again Kashmir, Goa. So these are the fascinating places identified by the students. Teachers, then again other officials now have much holidays along with Sunday and Saturday, Onam vacation, then again summer vacation, Christmas vacation. So in this way, leisure that is now available to the employees and other people. Early retirement, people are now retiring the age of 55 in the case of Kerala. That is a very young 55, a person who is very young in the age of 55. So that is, they are very healthy at that time. So the early retirement, reduction of working hours, you know, the hour of work for an employee that is highly fixed. So reduction of the working hours, new technology, increase in life expectancy, the growth of unemployment, the development of pubs, community centers, all that helped for leisure tourism in the modern period. So the leisure tourism that have some subdivisions. Health tourism is connected with leisure tourism. Educational activities is concerned with leisure tourism. Sport activities is concerned with leisure tourism. Visiting of the friends and relatives is part of leisure tourism. Cultural activities, that is part of leisure tourism. Holidays, spending holidays, that is part of leisure tourism. So in this way, leisure tourism, that is a part of travel and tourism, and that is precipitated by various developments after industrial revolution.